In just one night, an invasive wild boar herd destroyed nearly 40% of the livestock feed belonging to farmers in Red Mesa, North Texas. This isn't just an economic loss, adding up to over $2.5 billion annually across U.S. agriculture. It's a direct and growing threat to the ecosystem itself. Today, 4 licensed control teams are deploying for the largest operation of the month, before the sun reaches the ridgeline. Wild boars reproduce at an extreme rate, 2 litters per year, 6 to 12 piglets each time, with virtually no effective natural predators left to slow them down. In just a few hours, a single sounder can destroy an entire hectare of land, causing erosion, stripping vegetation, spreading disease, attacking livestock, and even pushing into residential areas. Red Mesa's terrain, rolling yellow grass hills, low brush, and open fields, is ideal escape cover for wild hogs. To contain the herd, the operation is divided clearly. Team David locks down the east. Team Alex seals off the western escape. Team Jack holds the south, where hogs often break into open ground. Team Matthew circles widest, pushing from the north toward the center. Everyone moves quietly, using encrypted radios and hand signals to avoid spooking the herd. In U.S. invasive species control, the #1 safety rule is simple. No one chambers around until every line is locked and no crossfire exists. Team David holds position. Their only task is to seal the exit and force the herd along the safe corridor. On the west side, Alex positions his team near an old wooden fence, a natural funnel. In tall grass and freshly turned soil, even a small sound can trigger panic. One mistake here and the herd scatters, breaking the entire containment plan. Jack crosses the open field, the zone where wild hogs reach full speed. A mature boar can weigh 100 to 150 kilograms and sprint up to 40 kilometers per hour. Every step must be calculated to prevent the herd from changing direction and collapsing the perimeter. The objective is clear. Identify the lead animal, the one setting the herd's direction, and control the movement of them all. Through experience and behavior reading, Matthew knows one thing. Wild boars always favor old trails to conserve energy. He guides his team along the only path leading into the center hills, applying just enough pressure to push the herd south, without triggering panic. One small mistake here could put one team into another's line of fire. That is absolutely forbidden. In wildlife management, human safety always outweighs results. Grass explodes upward, soil kicks into the air. The herd, more than 20 hogs, bursts through the center of the field. Everything happens fast, but under control. Eric, holding the final line, guides the herd into a designated safe zone, an area where control can be completed without risk to people or livestock. This is not recreational hunting. The last remaining animals are pushed completely out of agricultural land and controlled according to Texas invasive species protocols. As the sun climbs higher, the fields of Red Mesa finally return to silence. Farm families can continue their work without the fear of losing everything overnight. We don't hunt for entertainment. We manage to protect farmers, safeguard harvests, and prevent ecosystem collapse caused by unchecked invasive species. Wild boar management is not a battle against nature. It's a responsibility, so people, agriculture, and ecosystems can coexist. The deep forest drain had become the main gathering spot for a pack of aggressive wild boars. They weren't just raiding the fields. Last night, they charged into the pens, causing serious damage. As representatives of our village, we had to act immediately. Rifles loaded, we moved into the drain where visibility was limited and escape routes blocked. The target appeared, and the hunt began, quickly spiraling beyond control. Immediately, our team sought the perfect hiding spots. We set up ambush positions along the marked points in our plan, tracing the edges of the trench. At the tensest moment, a wild boar burst out from the dense forest into the trench. I was ready, waiting, giving it no time to react. The rifle barked decisively, and the boar dropped instantly. The immediate danger was eliminated, but the life or death struggle had only just begun. The shot had alerted the rest of the herd. As soon as the smoke cleared, my teammate Jack struck from another ambush point, taking down a boar trying to escape. Quick, precise. The whole action lasted just 2 seconds. Seeing that ambush tactics were no longer effective, thanks to the boar's heightened alertness, the team switched strategies. Hunting dogs were released immediately. The pressured boar had nowhere to run. I waited, pulled the trigger, and dropped it instantly. We then moved swiftly toward the treacherous cliffside. As expected, a massive target was hiding there. I quickly ranged, braced the rifle, and fired decisively. Down it went. The team pressed on, leaving smaller boars to the dogs. This dispersal tactic kept the hunt fast and effective in this brutal pursuit. Using sweep tactics, the dogs excelled at encircling the boar's main den. "They're boxed in! Hold your positions!" I whispered. The boars, sensing danger, emerged and immediately walked into the trap. That was all I needed, but this wasn't an easy shot. I lined it up perfectly, fired, and ended it with a single round. Done. Jack exhaled beside me. After the den, the dogs found new targets. Barking echoed from afar, signaling boars hiding in a muddy drainage. Without hesitation, we moved in. Using the terrain to our advantage, we took precise shots, putting an end to their reign over the area. The day's final target revealed itself. The hounds barked in unison. Jack ranged it, and this would be the last shot of the hunt. Decisive. One clean hit, and the threat was gone. Silence returned. The danger of the deep forest drain had been eliminated, at least for now. Unlike many other places, wild boars in Sweden tend to show up at the most sensitive times of day, dusk and dawn. They travel in small groups, extremely alert and ready to turn aggressive if cornered. That's why every hunt here demands strict preparation, from scouting the terrain, positioning shooting spots, choosing the perfect moment to fire, to planning safe escape routes. That afternoon, we arrived at a southern Blekking field, with the last rays of sunlight still flickering. All gear was thoroughly checked, radios powered on, and each person quickly took their assigned position. The hunt officially began. 15 silent minutes passed before some uninvited guests quietly appeared in the field. The moment had come. Adjusting my scope just right, I squeezed the trigger instantly. The shot was true. The beast dropped on the spot. The rest sensed danger and scrambled away in haste. But every escape route had been pre-planned. A volley of shots rang out, sealing the fate of all. A clean, efficient takedown, showcasing the absolute dominance of those ready for any scenario. As the last sunlight faded, the wild boars began leaving their hiding spots. Knowing this pattern well, we swiftly moved toward the forest edge, ready to intercept the herd. Sure enough, a group was busy foraging nearby. As the target came into view, a sharp crack echoed. Despite its desperate dash, it couldn't get far. The rest fled in panic deeper into the woods, escaping our control. Undeterred, we pushed onward. Soon, another group burst onto the eastern corner of the field. No room for rush, we formed up, closing in carefully. After steady adjustments, the shot rang out, dropping the lead boar in an instant. The rest scattered, but every path was locked down. None escaped. Before we could celebrate, urgent signals came from the left. New targets appeared. Without hesitation, we moved in, eyes scanning swiftly for the best angle to strike. Once the prey was fully in the crosshairs, a decisive shot shattered the silence. Despite its speed, the beast only managed to fall at the forest's edge. Spotting fresh tracks by the forest edge, we planned a dawn raid. At 5 a.m. sharp, the team was in position. Every nook was covered, every approach controlled. Soon, the target entered the sights. A clean shot rang out. Precise, the result of countless hours of practice. Just when it seemed all was calm, a shadow lurked on our way back. Without hesitation, a gunshot cracked, firm and powerful, affirming the relentless spirit for the peace of this land. Hours of tense combat followed, with victory signals sounding repeatedly. Thanks to spot-on tracking and smart blockades, we took down each group of wild boars, closing a hunt defined by skill and effectiveness. The dense forests of Tuscany are not only beautiful, but also filled with countless mysteries and challenges. Here, wild boars, intelligent and powerful creatures, have the ability to blend seamlessly into the thick foliage, making hunting them an arduous trial. They are not just prey, but a true test of skill, patience, and the ability to handle the wild. That's why we decided to step into this forest, not only to hunt, but to conquer the challenges it presents. The early morning mist still clung to the forest as we arrived, ready to face the challenge that awaited us. Armed with specialized weapons and necessary support gear, we entered a hunt full of danger. Sensing that this area would likely reveal a target, I decided to take up a concealed position. Then, a familiar pungent scent hit the air, one I knew well. A series of shots rang out, aimed directly at the source of the smell. Precisely, there it was, the wild boar. Quickly advancing, the dark figure was not easily defeated, standing like an immovable rock. My finger tightened on the trigger, and the shot rang out. Precise, disabling the boar's fierce resistance. A perfect start, signaling a journey full of promise. Advancing deeper into the forest, every step we took was cautious, not daring to relax even for a moment. The hunting dogs pressured a target, their barking relentless, like the sound of a death toll. The boar tried to escape, but all its escape routes were sealed. At close range, Jay took his shot. Bang! The prey collapsed, ending its futile attempt to flee. Thanks to the seamless coordination and patience of our dogs, we had all the time and space needed to act. With the perfect range, Jay faced no obstacles. The cold, precise shot sealed the fate of this destructive creature. After surveying the terrain, we realized the wild boars here were incredibly smart. Whether alone or in a group, they always hid within the dense canopy, highly alert to any movement around them. We decided to spread out into different areas, each of us taking up a position to easily spot and deal with the targets. It wasn't long before a familiar figure appeared within our sights. The moment had arrived, and a precise shot was fired. The boar collapsed immediately. At the same time, Jay's shots rang out from the west, loud and rapid, like a clear report signaling that the deployed strategy had proven effective. After the loud blasts, the wild boar began to panic and flee towards the south of the forest. I informed Nick of the checkpoint location, and he quickly positioned himself, patiently observing every movement. There it was. It suddenly darted across. The opportunity had come. Nick tightened his finger on the trigger. A swift, precise shot. The prey collapsed right on the spot. A victory earned through patience and precision in every moment. Suspecting that wild boars were still hiding in this area, we continued to scan every nook and cranny. The tension hung in the air, my hand never loosening its grip on the rifle. As soon as the target entered the crosshairs, my finger tightened on the trigger. Perfect! A sense of satisfaction surged through me. All those hours of training had finally paid off. This area, with its limited visibility, was no match for our sharp eyes. Every step, every movement was meticulously planned, ready to take down the prey flawlessly. Just a few minutes later, the target emerged. A decisive shot rang out, and the beast collapsed among the trees. The prize secured, beyond our expectations. With the food sources in the forest running low, wild boars are forced to leave their shelters and venture into agricultural areas, causing significant crop damage. According to a report from the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, this situation results in economic losses estimated at billions of dollars each year. For this reason, we, the resilient hunters, are constantly finding ways to deal with and drive away these increasingly aggressive boar herds to protect our livelihoods. The hunt begins, all for our crops. Before the first light of dawn, the entire forest was shrouded in thick fog, presenting a significant challenge for the hunting team. Although we had equipped ourselves with specialized binoculars, visibility was still severely limited, making observation extremely difficult. However, with years of experience, I remained patient and calm, closely monitoring every movement. Suddenly, a dark shape materialized through the fog. No mistake, it was our target. I quickly raised my rifle, my finger poised on the trigger. A suppressed shot rang out, swift and precise. The prey dropped. The opening shot was tough, given the weather conditions, but we secured a victory. Taking down the first boar in such harsh circumstances was a feeling of satisfaction beyond words. Not everyone has the ability to herd wild boars into one spot, but that's exactly what we're doing. The boars are being driven into a tight area. Look at that! How should we deal with these aggressive creatures? This is how we, the hunters, eliminate a large number of boars, but it comes with considerable risk. At the right moment, I squeeze the trigger, sending the first boar crashing to the ground. Its fall causes the rest of the herd to scatter in all directions. The speed of the bullet can't keep up with the fleeing boars. As expected, I quickly team up with Jack to encircle the herd and take down as many as we can. Boom! The second shot hits, taking down another target. Perfect! We've given it our all. This was a fantastic display of teamwork. Exactly what's needed in a hunt like this. The dry season has come, leaving the fields barren, so the wild boars tend to move towards areas with running water. Despite their cunning nature, wild boars are still driven by habits, and this stream is a prime spot, offering plenty of food and water, making it a regular destination for them. All Jack and I had to do was patiently wait and stay hidden. Suddenly, Jack signaled to me, and without a word, we both knew what to do. The boar revealed itself, and the sound of the gunshot was sharp and decisive, ending its life right there. Quick, clean, and efficient, leaving us with a satisfying sense of accomplishment. What did you think of that shot? Leave a comment below and let us know. There it is! I smell boar! Jack exclaimed as if he had stumbled upon something precious. In front of us was a whole herd of wild boars, engrossed in foraging, completely unaware. It was a tough situation since our team was limited in number, and we couldn't take them all out at once. But sometimes, it's better to take the shot than hesitate and miss the chance. Without overthinking, I chambered around, aimed precisely, and squeezed the trigger. Quick and fluid, the lead boar fell. This was a clear declaration of our commitment to protecting the crops. Meanwhile, on the western side of the forest, James had trapped a wild boar that was casually searching for its dinner. It was completely oblivious to its surroundings, lost in its meal hunt. James patiently waited for the boar to move into the perfect position. Now was the time. His finger tightened on the trigger, and the bullet shot forward. The boar startled, turning back, but before it could react, it collapsed. As we were packing up to head back to the village, the hunting dogs began barking loudly in the forest. They had driven a clever wild boar out of its hiding spot. This was the moment. We weren't in a hurry to leave. Instead, we got ready to take our positions. A herd of wild boars, a fairly large number. The opportunity had arrived, and we signaled to open fire simultaneously. But some of the boars managed to escape. Undeterred, James moved ahead and took down a massive boar trying to make its getaway. Just as it charged out, seemingly about to escape, the sound of a gunshot rang out. The deafening blast marked yet another victory for the day. The challenging hunt has finally come to a victorious end. This is a well-deserved reward for our teamwork and perseverance. How did you feel about today's journey? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay tuned for the next episode, where we'll be hunting on the snowy hills, with plenty of exciting moments waiting for you. Goodbye for now, and see you next time! When you think of Florida, your mind probably jumps straight to sun-soaked beaches. But beyond the shoreline, this land stretches out into vast fields and sprawling farms, and with them comes a serious challenge: wild hogs wreaking havoc. These cunning creatures use the rolling hills and dense thickets as perfect cover to hide and multiply. Today, join my crew and me as we venture deep into these rugged backcountry terrains, exploring the landscape while taking on the mission to protect local crops and livelihoods. Our journey begins at dawn, when the early mist still clings to the hilltops. This is prime time. Wild hogs are most active after a night spent foraging. We have to make the most of this golden window, because though their vision is poor, once they catch the scent of danger, they vanish like ghosts. Dawn bore witness to a fierce showdown. The beast charged down the hillside with fierce vitality. My shot found its mark, but it refused to give in. I had to fire a second round, taking down that stubborn creature for good. Not a bad way to kick things off, right? Across the hillside, a lone target moves steadily. The world narrows through the scope, just the crosshairs and the prey. Without a moment's hesitation, David gently squeezes the trigger, and the bullet completes its mission flawlessly. The quarry is down before it even knows what hit it. They sow chaos everywhere. We plant seeds of peace in return. On this barren patch of territory, a solid shadow moves steadily. Suddenly, it halts, wild instincts warning of danger. Its hesitation is my chance. No way I'm letting it slip away. I squeeze the trigger, and BAM! The curtain falls as the villain meets its fate, the destructive wild hog. It stopped for a moment of doubt, and I acted to make the land richer once again. Leaving the hills behind, our pickup truck carried us down to lower ground. Here, the distance between us and the prey could be just a few steps. When a full-grown wild hog weighing hundreds of pounds bursts out from the brush, there's no room for joking around. Out of the brush, the wild hog suddenly charges. The only gap it has to cross is the narrow trail, and that's John's one and only shot. The moment it hits the edge of the woods, his bullet flies, putting an end to its desperate run. It runs on instinct, no strategy, while we win with one bold, skilled shot. The rustling in the brush signals the prey is about to appear, and I'm the last line of defense. When that massive wild hog tears through the undergrowth, charging at me like a suicide bomb, there's no time for fear. At the moment it's just an arm's length away, the shot rings out, taking it down on the spot. Does this pressure and ambush tactic deserve a perfect 10, guys? The tension thickened as dusk fell, with dogs barking loudly, signaling the prey was about to be pushed into the open. I gripped my rifle tight, ready for whatever was coming. Then it appeared. The first shot hit true, but the hog still charged toward the woods. The second shot ended its run forever, a perfect ending to a full day of hunting. closing out a successful day's work. Our powerful Tesla Cybertruck carried us home, the bed packed full of hard-earned trophies. The villagers' urgent pleas about wild boars destroying crops pushed us into action. Yet, a looming storm turned this hunt into a heart-pounding race against time. Could we complete the mission and return safely before the tempest hit? The classic pincer strategy was in motion. While teammates and hunting dogs pressured from below, David took a prime position on high ground, overlooking the entire hillside. And there it is! It's revealed! Bang! Down it goes. Nice shot. A crisp, powerful strike, a testament to flawless team coordination. The echo of hunting dogs reverberated through the valley. The hunt was far from over. On another steep slope, James kept watch, eyes scanning every bush and rocky outcrop. He knew the panic below would drive the prey straight toward him. And just as predicted, look what we have here. Its speed was impressive, but no match for James' lightning reflexes and calculated shot. Pride filled him, not just for the kill, but for protecting the villagers from these destructive wild boars. But success didn't make James complacent. A bigger target was approaching, a hefty boar clumsily navigating the rocky slope below. From above, James patiently tracked every step, gun unwavering. One chance only. Would he take it? The moment arrived. The bullet flew, striking the vital spot just behind the shoulder. It didn't stand a chance to wreak havoc. James and David's shots confirmed the strategy's effectiveness, yet the encirclement continued at high intensity. On a gentler slope, I held a crucial post, the first line of defense ready for any prey driven from the dense forest below. Rustling in the bushes. My moment had come. Down it goes, before it even realized the danger. Not all wild boars run in panic. The clever ones hide, waiting for danger to pass. But my sharp eyes caught a suspicious movement in the lower brush. The scent told me they were nearby. I moved silently, closing in, holding my breath, waiting for the slightest slip. Bang! That shot wasn't just a hit, it was the culmination of skill, decisiveness, and pinpoint accuracy, the hallmarks of a true hunter. With the storm approaching, we urgently searched for the remaining alpha boar. Experience told us that in the sweltering heat before the storm, it would seek one place, the familiar stream. The team quietly took positions, turning the area into a trap. Would this final judgment be rewarded? Then, it dashed out from the streamside bushes like an arrow. It tried to escape, but was no match for bullets already chambered. As the final target fell, the hunting campaign concluded perfectly. We hastily loaded the spoils into the Jeep Wrangler and headed back. The first heavy raindrops began to fall just as we reached safety. Relief washed over us. Sometimes the greatest enemy isn't the fierce prey, but time itself. Today, we won that race. No need for dense forests or rugged terrain. Wild hogs are now appearing right on familiar trails. Why? The climate and favorable conditions in the eastern United States have caused this wild population to explode, reaching tens of millions. The risk of an entire harvest being destroyed is very real. As soon as the alert came in, we, professional hunters, acted swiftly, carrying the responsibility of maintaining the delicate balance of the local ecosystem. On this trail, every sound, scent, and movement can mean the difference between life and death. One small mistake could put not only us at risk, but also the villagers, facing disaster from the feral herd. Suddenly, a rustle echoed, and the beast revealed itself. The shot flew straight into its body. The initial control was successful, and the following double secured the first takedown for the team, kicking off a fierce battle to gradually restore order to the area. Before we could celebrate, a signal came through. The herd just slipped past me, moving southeast. Jay's voice, urgent. We immediately jumped into the vehicle, intercepting in the indicated direction while setting up backup checkpoints. The moment we stepped out, the black herd charged past like a whirlwind. Without hesitation, waves of fire were unleashed. Some were brought under control, while others escaped, but their paths were still within Thomas's coverage. Everything was carefully calculated. That's how we set up the tactical formation when hunting wild hogs. What do you think of this approach? Pretty solid, right? Leave your comment below. In front of Thomas, the dense thickets formed a maze, limiting visibility, but it couldn't slow him down. The barrel never paused for a second. Every target that appeared went down immediately. It's this calm precision that earned Thomas the responsibility of holding the choke point, and explains why the wild beasts always hesitate whenever he shows up. After the thunder of gunfire, the battle gradually gave way to an indescribable silence. But this was the critical moment of every confrontation. The hunting dogs were quickly released to accelerate the team's pursuit. Minutes later, fierce barking erupted, drawing the team's attention. I moved in swiftly, as the dog's perfect pressure created the ideal conditions for precise shots to ring out. With our combat skills, maintaining control over the situation became effortless. Wild hogs aren't just fierce, they're extremely cunning, moving in herds with unpredictable, erratic steps. As the late afternoon light barely pierced the forest, silhouettes suddenly appeared. Each shot brought down the exposed lead hogs. I thought there would only be a few, but no, an enormous herd surged out, catching me completely off guard. Holding the iPhone 17 in hand, I coordinated with the team to carry out the final sweep of the area before dusk. After just a few intense hours, every hiding target was neutralized. Our team had full control over the feral wild hogs. Every shot was not just a mission, it was justice in action, punishing those reckless beasts that dared to ravage this land. We've restored balance to this area, but it's only a small part of the terrain. There are still cunning herds lurking deeper,